After facing searing questions yesterday on Capitol Hill, Fed Chairman Bernanke stood firm that he never threatened to fire Bank of America CEO Ken Lewis. So what about the man now in Congress's sights, former Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson? Joining us now from Capitol Hill is Representative Jackie Speier, Democrat of California, who sits on both the House Oversight Committee as well as the House Financial Services Committee. Good morning, Congresswoman. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure, Alexis.
So we watched yesterday. You participated. Did you get the answers you were looking for from the Fed chairman?
Well, I didn't get some very important answers. One of them was, how do we come up with the figures that we offered the Bank of America? In the end, they got $45 billion. And I asked him, how did we come up with that figure? And he said he couldn't answer the question. I think the fact that he couldn't answer the question as to why the SEC was not informed in a timely fashion was also very troublesome. Now, I will also say that I think Bernanke has done an extraordinary job under extraordinary times, but that does not excuse him from making sure that he recognizes all of government has a responsibility to do its job, and you can't hide the ball from one agency.
You know, probably one of the most challenging moments there for the Fed chairman was when he was questioned as to whether or not he remembered the email exchange between him and Lacker, and whether or not he in fact did threaten Ken Lewis. He repeatedly said he could not remember. Does that give you the kind of answer justification you were looking for, or does that suggest there's more to see behind the scenes here?
Well, I think we can all read between the lines. I think that he directed Paulson to make that request of Lewis, and if he did not comply, to make the veiled threat that there would be trouble. Now, the truth of the matter is, unless we had, I think, a majority interest in the Bank of America, we can't be calling those shots, nor should we be calling those kind of shots. We are already far too engaged in these financial institutions, and now we're talking about really three financial institutions in this country that hold 50% of the deposits. This concept of too big to fail, we're promoting it, we're encouraging it. We should be doing just the reverse.
A lot of people suggest that this could change the outcome of the regulatory overhaul being discussed on Capitol Hill, whether or not, in fact, the Fed should be given the right to oversee systemic risk. Has it changed your point of view on this issue?
Well, I think many of us have been concerned that the Fed's power and authority is already extensive and maybe even excessive. You know, the Federal Reserve Act has this Section 13.3 that allows the Fed to do virtually anything under exigent circumstances. Exigent is defined by whoever is in charge of the Fed, and there is no oversight by Congress under those circumstances. It places too much independence in the Fed as it relates to what are circumstances that might be suggested to be non-monetary in nature. So I think we're going to have to relook at that Federal Reserve Act as we look at the new authority that may be given to the Fed.
Just finally, Representative, just tell me, I know that the former Treasury Secretary Paulson is expected to testify in front of the committee as well. Number one, when do you expect that to be? And number two, what do you want to see come out of this entire process? What is the end goal here?
Well, I think Mr. Paulson will be probably testifying within the next month. I think the end goal is, you know, we're doing a post-mortem on a set of circumstances that were pretty extraordinary. I think what we want to take away from all of that is an understanding and placing safeguards in effect that will prevent one agency from hiding the ball from another, that will make sure that any kind of determination around value is made with an understanding of what is appropriate. And I want to make sure the taxpayers get their money back, and that should really be our ultimate goal. The taxpayers should get their money back, and, you know, frankly, should be making some money on the fact that they have been doling out so much money to all these banks who have just stripped this country of so very much over the last 8 years, just out of pure greed.
All right. Well, Representative Jackie Speier, Democrat of California, we'll leave it there. Thank you for taking the time. Have a terrific weekend.
My pleasure. You too.
All right. Suspected fraudster Alan Stanford may walk out of jail as early as today, but it's not a done deal. Adam Shapiro's in Houston with the latest details.